No, na ke kuai kana hele hele ia la ia ke ki o hu e ka ua gogo. O na kino malu kalani malu e ho ulu ana o laka I kona maukahu. O makono, o makono, o makono.
Hi, I'm Eric Kwong. I'm the creator of Regenerative Decision Making. Regenerative decision making is a tool in the form of a decision making process through which decision makers everywhere persuade themselves to exponentially adopt regenerative options for scaling back the extraction flows and pollution flows of a system called the human enterprise and allowing the planet's regenerated biosphere to reverse the planet's ecological crises and allow the planet to heal itself. In this 5-part video series, I'm going to show you how a model for human and planetary well-being called Doughnut Economics can help us design a decision-making process for reversing the planet's ecological crises. Before talking about a decision-making process for adopting regenerative options at the exponential rate needed for reversing the planet's ecological crises, let's talk generally about present-day decision-making for adopting options that meet human physical needs. Present-day decision-making is a simple 3-step process. First, decision makers perceive a present physical need. Second, decision makers shop for an option that meets that present need. Third, decision makers adopt an option that meets that present need at lowest incurred cost. Present-day decision-making cannot reverse the planet's ecological crises for 2 reasons. First, present-day decision-making contains no process for appreciating the avoided cost benefits and regeneration benefits of regenerative options. Without appreciation of avoided cost benefits, avoided pollution benefits, and number of species per area benefits, decision makers are not going to persuade themselves to adopt regenerative options. Second, present-day decision-making adopts options at an incremental rate to meet present physical needs and contains no process for adopting regenerative options at an exponential rate. Without such an exponential process, decision makers are not going to adopt regenerative options at the exponential rate needed for reversing the planet's ecological crises. Putting these reasons together, present-day decision-making is not a process for adopting regenerative options at the exponential rate needed for reversing the planet's ecological crises. Present-day decision-making is keeping decision makers and all of us stuck on an unlimited downside of exponentially growing pollution flows, exponentially growing species extinctions, and exponentially growing incurred costs of adapting to the planet's ecological crises. Because present-day decision-making is not a process for adopting regenerative options at the exponential rate needed for reversing the planet's ecological crises, the third question is, what might a decision-making process look like through which decision makers want to adopt regenerative options at the exponential rate needed for reversing the planet's ecological crises? Such a regenerative decision-making process through which decision makers everywhere want to exponentially adopt regenerative options might look like a simple four-step regenerative decision-making process. First, decision makers identify their options for meeting human physical needs, evaluate the performance benefits, economic benefits, and regeneration benefits of their options, compare those benefits, and persuade themselves what options they want to adopt. Second, decision makers adopt a regenerative option and deliver its performance benefits, economic benefits, and regeneration benefits. Third, decision makers measure the delivered benefits and enthuse themselves to deliver more benefits faster. Fourth, decision makers enthuse themselves to persuade themselves faster to adopt more regenerative options. They enthuse themselves to make more decisions faster to adopt more regenerative options. They enthuse themselves to adopt more regenerative options faster and deliver more benefits faster. They enthuse themselves to measure the delivered benefits and enthuse themselves to deliver more benefits even faster. They enthuse themselves to persuade themselves even faster to adopt more regenerative options. They enthuse themselves to make even more decisions even faster to adopt more regenerative options. They enthuse themselves to adopt even more regenerative options even faster and deliver even more benefits even faster. The faster and faster regenerative decision making creates the exponential adoption of more and more regenerative options that deliver more and more benefits. The faster and faster decision making for exponentially adopting more and more regenerative options delivers more and more regeneration benefits that scale back the extraction flows and the pollution flows of the human enterprise. Scaling back the extraction flows and pollution flows allows the planet's biosphere to regenerate itself, which allows the planet's regenerated biosphere to reverse the planet's ecological crises and allows the planet to heal itself. Because regenerative decision making is a thought process, it is usable by decision makers everywhere because it is exponentially copyable by decision makers everywhere. Regenerative decision making processes can be copied and used by decision makers everywhere because every human being has an innate superpower of recognizing and copying other human beings' successful solutions. Through human beings' recognition and copying of regenerative decision-making processes, decision makers everywhere can use regenerative decision-making processes for exponentially adopting regenerative options and reversing the planet's ecological crises. Through decision makers' exponential adoption of regenerative options, regenerative decision making shifts decision makers everywhere from an unlimited downside of exponentially growing incurred pollution to an unlimited upside of exponentially growing avoided pollution. From an unlimited downside of exponentially growing species extinctions to an unlimited upside of exponentially growing number of species per area. And from an unlimited downside of exponentially growing incurred costs of adapting to the planet's ecological crises to an unlimited upside of exponentially growing avoided costs delivered by regenerative options that decision makers want to adopt. In the 5th video of this 5-part series, I'm going to share with you a design for an app for reversing the planet's ecological crises. Do you want to find out just how powerful you can be for reversing the planet's ecological crises? If this appeals to you, please share this video and please consider subscribing to my Regenerative Decision Making Substack channel at erikvam.substack.com. Thank you for listening and aloha.